Not cut out for this life one. I'm a 27-year-old man, and for the past 4 years, I've been living in a community apartment since moving out of my parents' place. Normally, this community doesn't allow bachelors, but my close friend assured the owners that I wouldn't cause any issues. They knew I don't smoke, drink, or get into trouble. I'm just a regular guy living alone and trying to make a living. I'm focused on my career goals and always working towards them. I've been single for almost 5 years now. I've never been into casual sex or hooking up with someone just for physical intimacy. After trying to date a few times in the year following my breakup, I decided to take a break from love and relationships. I've been living on my own and I'm content with my life. I would never do anything that might make a woman feel uncomfortable or unsafe. Everything changed 3 months ago when 2 sisters, Blake 28 and Holly 31, moved into the flat next to mine. Until then, we had only exchanged occasional glances and smiles, but no words. One day, while I was reading a book in my bedroom, I heard persistent pounding on my front door. When I opened it, Blake slapped me in the face without warning. Before I could react, both sisters pushed their way inside and attacked me, calling me a pervert and other derogatory names. I had no chance to explain myself or defend against their accusations. The commotion drew my neighbors' attention, and they rushed in to intervene, stopping the sisters' attack. Once the situation was calmed, Blake accused me of sexual harassment, claiming I had placed a speaker outside their apartment playing moaning noises. I denied the allegation, but no one believed me. My neighbors sided with the sisters, scolding me, and one of them even took the opportunity to physically strike me a few times. I sat on the floor, bleeding from my nose and unable to see out of my left eye, without being given a chance to explain my side of the story. The situation quickly spiraled out of control, and the police were called. I was arrested and taken to the hospital for treatment before being jailed. During my one allowed phone call, I reached out to my close friend, who promptly arranged for a lawyer and ensured I received proper care for my injured eye. I'm writing this from my hospital bed. I'm at a loss for how to handle this situation, as I've done nothing wrong. My close friend is the only one who believes me. I don't have any evidence to prove my innocence. I've always felt like my appearance seems to attract the wrong kind of attention from women, which has made me uncomfortable around them. My ex was the last woman I was close to, and after she left, I haven't had another chance. I've tried to improve myself, work on my social skills, and take up new hobbies, but I did it all to impress others, not for my own growth. Recently, I've started focusing on living for myself and stopped trying to please everyone else. Maybe that was a mistake. It seems I'm expected to constantly change who I am in order to gain people's approval or acceptance. Here's an update. As soon as my treatment was finished, I was transferred to jail without allowing my injuries to fully heal. The police didn't wait for my recovery, likely due to the community president treating this matter as a severe offense and pushing for a speedy trial. Since then, a case has been filed against me and multiple statements have been taken from my neighbors. I was present when the sisters gave their statement, claiming that my glances and smiles at them while using the elevator were inappropriate and misleading. 2 other neighbors on my floor also gave statements, accusing me of being a sex addict because I spend my weekends alone at home. They assumed that since they've never seen me with friends or family, I must be involved in criminal activities and urged the police to investigate my life further. My friend informed me that my apartment was searched and ransacked by the police, who were looking for additional evidence to use against me. After spending several weeks in jail, on the day of my trial, I was led into a room where my friend and lawyer were waiting for me. They had some unexpected news. The real culprit had been identified. It turned out that one of the families living on the same floor was responsible for the crime. Their teenage sons had attempted to play a prank on the sisters, but it had escalated into something much more serious. They have solid evidence of the prank, and my lawyer informed me that they plan to file a countersuit against the family and the sisters. While I'm focused on clearing my name and proving my innocence, they're encouraging me to take action against those who wronged me. However, I'm unsure if I can bring myself to harm others, even in retaliation.
Story 2.
I was tricked by someone I went to school with for 10 whole years. When this happened, I was 16 years old and a junior in high school. My dad worked night shifts, so I'd often sneak out of the house to drive up the highway and meet up with my friend. To give you some background, there was this Snapchat account called Giovanni that had added me a few months before. They had sent me a few messages like hey and stuff, but I never replied. One night, while I was hanging out with my friend, Giovanni messaged me and offered to pay me to go get food with them. My friend and I thought it was hilarious because we were sure it was a fake account. I joked and said, okay, come pick me up then, but they responded with, well, you're not even home. At the time, I was only 16 and worried about getting in trouble with my dad for sneaking out. So I did something really stupid. I FaceTimed a guy friend, told him what was happening, and drove back home. I took matters into my own hands, which was a really dumb idea. With my friend still on FaceTime, I parked outside my apartment and told the person on the Snapchat account to come over now that I was home. But instead of showing up, they started saying things like, I'm scared I'm too weak to hurt you. If anything, I should be scared of you and I'm worried about coming over because you know me. They also mentioned what area they would be driving from, which seemed like an important detail. They pulled up, and when the window rolled down, they said, please, can we talk about this? I was looking at a black man who seemed really familiar, but my heart was racing fast. This was supposed to be Giovanni, who had an Italian bitmoji, which didn't match the person in front of me at all. I started questioning him right away, asking who he was and what he thought would happen. He kept begging me to get in the car, but I made him so uncomfortable that he eventually sped away. My guy friend, who was still on FaceTime with me, is almost the only evidence I have of what happened. I went back to my apartment and started calling the Snapchat account. The person on the other end began making threats to harm themselves, lied about their age, and when I asked how they knew me, they kept changing their story. First, they said they knew a mutual friend, then they claimed we met on Xbox. Then they claimed we sat together at lunch and even said we went to elementary school together. So my friend and I dug out our 5th grade yearbook and started searching. And there he was, we'll call him C. I had only spoken to him maybe 5 times throughout my entire school career, but I was 100% sure that was him. And the area he said he was driving from matched the hometown of his best friend, which further confirmed my suspicions. I texted C's best friend, but he didn't respond. He claimed that Life360, a location sharing app, showed C was at home, but he did admit that C drives the same car that I said showed up to my apartment. Then, I messaged the real Snapchat account of Giovanni, which was actually C's account. He immediately responded with threats to involve the police and told me I was ruining his life. Years later, the best friend who lived in the area where Giovanni claimed to be driving from started dating a friend of mine. He told her that one day, C showed him how to pause his Life360 location and suddenly everything made sense. He asked my friend to pass along a message to me he was sorry, and he now fully believes my story. I still have no idea what C's intentions were, and I have no idea what I was thinking when I decided to confront him. It was a really strange and scary situation, and I'm just glad it's over.